Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so here we go again. The left is losing its collective mind yet again because the US military is finally stepping in to help secure the southern border. In other words, the US military is finally doing its job in protecting the nation from foreign threats and national security risks. Yep, Donald Trump's right. It really does feel like a resurgence of common sense. Finally, there's a government actually doing its frickin' job. Common sense is prevailing, and in the meantime, all the rhetoric and all the narrative building that the Democrats have been doing, all the propaganda they've been engaging in, well, it's all just fizzling away now, isn't it? Let's take a look at what's got the left so riled up. We got some stuff to get into, but this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's first play that clip. This video is brought to you guys by ExpressVPN. Listen friends, we gotta talk about cybersecurity and we gotta talk about privacy. Every single time that you're online without a VPN, companies are tracking what you buy, where you go, what you search for, and of course then there's the hackers who are just waiting for you to connect to a public network in a cafe or a hotel or at the airport so they can take advantage of the network vulnerabilities and gain access to your personal data. And personally, I like my privacy, I like keeping my data, and that's exactly why I use and endorse ExpressVPN, because using a VPN can help create a secure encrypted tunnel between any of my computers or devices and the internet or any public networks. And the beauty is that it's safety, it's cybersecurity. You just download the VPN, sign in, and then connect through any of their proxy networks, just choose the location, and boom, your data's encrypted and you're protected. ExpressVPN is literally that easy. It's my go-to VPN. They're rated #1 by top reviewers like CNET and The Verge, and they even have a brand new tool called Identity Defender. It gives you alerts if your data shows up on the dark web. So basically, if you value your privacy, this is a no-brainer. And the best part is we've got an exclusive offer here where you can take advantage of this HiveMind exclusive and get 4 months free by scanning the QR code on screen or clicking the link down below in the description box or by simply going to expressvpn.com/HiveMind. It's a great deal, 4 months free for solid cyber security. A huge thank you to ExpressVPN. Now back to the video. Okay, so let's first start off with the leftist narrative, right? We've been following the rhetoric, especially on this issue during the campaign season. They were warning that Donald Trump was going to sick the military on migrants and his political opponents. The suggestion was that he was going to turn America into some sort of dystopian fascist hellscape nightmare, start throwing people into camps. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was going to cry in a parking lot. Those were the warnings, right? Just like the first time Donald Trump was going to start World War III. But well, turns out Donald Trump is now mobilizing the military, and not for the purposes of fascism. No, just common sense border policy and actually enforcing the law and protecting the nation. I mean, who would have known? Who could have possibly seen this one coming?
Today, the United States military, directed by the Department of Defense, has deployed troops, active duty troops, and National Guards, men and women, to secure our southern border. That is at the direction of President Trump, who has made Homeland Security the core mission of the Department of Defense. President Trump will continue to take any action necessary to secure our border and also to launch the largest mass deportation operation in American history. And ICE and the Department of Homeland Security are already working on that as well. In fact, there have been more than 380 arrests in the last 24 hours of known terrorists, murderers, and illegal aliens in this country who have committed heinous crimes. I have the list, looked through it this morning, and President Trump saw those numbers as well. Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, and of course we have a Secretary of Homeland Security and Kristi Noem, who should be confirmed swiftly by the United States Senate so she can also get to work on this critical issue.
Yep, finally we're seeing some action. This is what the border is currently looking like. You know, it's funny how different people can live in two entirely different realities, because the left sees this and they think fascism. Ooh, literally Hitler. But I see this and I'm thinking, finally, the right thing's being done here. Let's be real, military involvement should have probably been initiated day one of the crisis. The border's essentially been a revolving door for crime. It's been decades in the making. And the last 4 years, of course, have been a 4-year-long prolonged crisis. Joe Biden left the border wide open, and the Democrats obviously never cared because they thought an open border gave them more votes. But think about the price that you have paid. The fentanyl epidemic, broken communities, cartel violence, spiraling spiraling all over the country. There's been legitimate justification for military involvement here for a very long time. But Democrats are acting like, once again, it's a fascist vanity project from the president. Give me a break. They act like anything, any military involvement in any issue domestically is automatically some kind of human rights violation or an abuse of power. But look at the strategy here. They're targeting criminals, traffickers, and people adjacent to them. It's a measured, targeted approach, and it's already working. As we know, border crossings have already plummeted significantly. Some people are citing the numbers have dropped down over 90% already. And so we had all this talk about fascism, threat to democracy. Oh, and my favorite argument, none of it's gonna work. You can't solve the border crisis without billions of dollars more in big government bills. It's too complex of a problem. And obviously Donald Trump, I guess, is not sophisticated enough to solve the problem. But the Trump administration is now proving all the naysayers and all the partisan hacks totally wrong. Yeah, they're already getting the job done and they're doing it under schedule and under budget. Wow, who would have thought that you didn't need to spend over $1 billion, not to mention stacking a couple extra billion for Taiwan, Israel, and Ukraine? Who would have known that you didn't need to dump untold billions to solve a crisis that could basically be fixed with the snap of a finger, with one presidential signature, and actually, funnily enough, through the art of meme warfare? That's another element of this story that has the libs a little bit triggered.
Has anyone else noticed what Donald Trump's staff at the White House is doing online, or is it just me? Let me show you what I mean. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt released this photo, an official photo of immigrants, illegal immigrants, being loaded onto a, cargo plane to be shipped back from whence they came. But then she released this photo, a little closer up. You can see them in line. They're shackled or handcuffed. And these are criminals that ICE has rounded up, and now they're getting put on the plane to be deported, as Donald Trump promised he would do in the most massive deportation effort ever. But then the White House took this photo, ran it through Canva, added some captions, and then posted this. Same photo, added promises made, promises kept, deportation flights have begun, with the little official White House logo. They turned it into an advertising campaign. Instead of just taking a photo and releasing it to the media like they used to do in the old days, Donald Trump and his White House staff turned it into a meme. And I am all here for it.
Yeah, it's pretty much all about messaging. Who would have thought that when you have a president willing to put his foot down, willing to actually do the thing, well, then the job gets done rather quickly. You don't need billions of dollars. Apparently, all you need are memes. Just send the message out there. This is what happens if you cross into our country illegally. You will be put on a plane and sent back. Wow, so complicated, so difficult. No, obviously not. It's quite simple. And like I said, it's working. The word's already getting out.
Hay mucha migra y todos están cayendo. No les recomiendo cruzar porque hay un chingo de...
Illegal migrants are getting the message because the message is being sent quite clear. If you cross over, you will be removed. And that's obviously sending a message to illegal migrants who plan on making the trip over. It's not worth it. Don't even bother. Finally, some bold action on an important crisis. You know, the simple fact is that leftoids have been making excuses for years about why we can't solve this illegal alien issue. But it turns out you could solve your problems quite quickly when you actually enforce the law. This is what happens when you prioritize the safety of the American people over pandering to activists and special interest groups. The left loves to pretend as if these problems are too complex and too unmanageable, but it's not rocket science. It's common sense. It's not fascism. It's basic standard policy and just enforcing the laws that are already on the books. Enforce the law, secure the border, and get rid of the bad actors. And of course, yet again on another issue, Donald Trump is showing what true leadership looks like. And the results speak for themselves. The left is whining, but the American people are winning bigly. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.